Australia have had many memorable days in the subcontinent in their test history, but none quite like this one. It was Australia's day, but also Khawaja and Inglis's day. Let's start with Usman Khawaja. We spoke a lot about Usman Khawaja yesterday. I wrote a lot about Usman Khawaja today. And he just continued on, becoming the first Australian to make a double hundred in Sri Lanka, and that too in Galle. Don't forget, it was here that he got that title, Uzi can't play spin. Nobody's said that for the last 3 or 4 years, where he's come and dominated on pitches in Sri Lanka, Pakistan, India and the UAE. But what he's shown here is now he's become probably one of the most dominant players Australia have ever produced against spin. How quickly things can turn around, and full credit to Uzi. And it was a sweet moment when he got to his double hundred. Nothing elaborate with the celebration, just went down, kissed the ground. It was an ode to his faith, to his belief, and like he always says, to his God, who he kind of has always credited for giving him the perspective he's found with his cricket, with his family, with his life. And speaking of perspective, I mean, you have to put Josh Inglis's maiden Test 100 into perspective, don't you? And I'm going to try and do that later on when I write about just what I saw. A bit creepily, I must admit, while peering into the players' box and watching how his parents were reacting. It was a lovely moment. It was so sweet to see how they were bantering with each other as Josh got closer and closer to that 100. He didn't take too long. It was the second fastest Test debut 100 of all time, and it felt like he could have got that quicker. And you had to kind of remind yourself that you're watching someone on debut. It just felt like this guy has been doing this for 10 years, maybe 15 years. And to do it on a pitch, albeit which wasn't doing too much, or the Sri Lankan spinners wasn't getting too much out of it anyway. It was a tired Sri Lankan attack. I mean, you can't take anything away from his achievement. And what it meant was Australia ended up with in a position that they could have only scripted when this day began. 2 for 330 is where they were, and they finished declaring just with I think 40 minutes left for play. Maybe it was 45 minutes, and they ended up with 3 wickets, or 3 of the 4 bowlers who bowled ending up with a wicket. But I think it'll be a day that will be remembered for Khawaja, and then obviously for Inglis. Khawaja mainly for what they said he couldn't do, and how much he's grown from that, and how well he's dispelled all those myths that unfortunately he had to carry for a long time, the stigma of it anyway. And for Inglis, as to what lies ahead, if this is how he bats on Test debut in alien conditions, what can we expect when he does get his chances at home and in more familiar conditions? Lots to look forward to, not just in this Test match, but for what's to come with Inglis and Australia. Well, Australia will want to wrap it up as quickly as they can. They would have wanted to bat just first and just have some fun with it. There is some rain expected at some point, but the way their spinners have started, I would be very surprised if Sri Lanka are going to fight back in this Test match. And like today, tomorrow will also be Australia's day.